What's going on, guys? It's Clutch Plays here, and today we're going to be going over 5 Knicks players who deserve to play more. This season we already had a sense that some players were not going to be getting playing time, but certain players are being completely robbed of minutes. Even though we have a super deep roster, there are minutes that should be cut off of Marcus Morris, who plays about 33 minutes per game, RJ Barrett, who's playing 36 minutes per game, and Julius Randle, who's playing about 35 minutes per game. These are some of our best players, but Marcus Morris does not deserve to be playing over 30 minutes per game. We don't want to play RJ too much and burn him out this early into the season because he's still getting used to the NBA conditioning and the physicality that comes along with it, and a few minutes could be shut off of Julius Randle, especially when his man is beating him every single play. As we all know, Fizz's rotations are usually terrible, and this season the rotations are not as bad, but he doesn't understand when certain players should be put into the game. I will get more into this issue as we get farther along in the video, while I will also explain why some players should be receiving less minutes to open up more minutes for others who deserve to play more. One other thing about the way Fizdale deals with playing time is that he holds some players accountable for making mistakes while letting others just slide right along. One example of many is the countless number of times Frank has been benched for making a mistake, while most other Knicks players are not held accountable in the same way. It's understandable if someone like RJ or Julius Randle make the same mistake and are not held accountable, but when it's like Wayne Ellington or Dennis Smith Jr., it really makes no sense. Finally, all the players who I say deserve more minutes may not deserve it every night, rather in certain situations or games. Now with that said, let's hop into the 5 Knicks players who deserve more minutes. Number 1, Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox has had some very quiet but significant improvements to his game so far this season. Based off of his stats, in about 6 less minutes per game, Kevin has lowered his points per game by a little less than 1 point. The improvements have come from his shooting percentages, as he's increased his field goal percentage by 7% and 3-point percentage by about 20%. It's over 50%. It's pretty early in the season, so the sample size isn't all that great, but I don't think Kevin Knox has missed a single open 3 this season. This is all coming off of the bench. Most of his misses come when he tries to play isolation and ends up taking a long 2 or a step back 3-pointer, and Fizz wants Kevin to be more aggressive, and he has done just that, but his stats don't really reflect it because of the lack of minutes he's receiving. Hopping a bit deeper into the analytics, Kevin has increased his PER from 8.73 to 16 this season, and there is no reason that this should go down. Now finally, the only downside is Kevin has a minus 31 plus minus, but the overall Knicks have a minus 41 plus minus, so technically he has a better plus minus than the team average for the amount of minutes he's playing. And if you don't count his minus 28 plus minus in the Celtics game, he would only be at a minus 3 plus minus, which would be the best on the team. During the games, it's evident that Kevin is improving his defense and learning to use his length and wingspan, which is great progression and exactly what he needs to be working on the defensive side of the ball. Kevin has been put into a few odd lineups too, where he's forced to create his own shot, like last night to begin the second quarter, and he has been absolutely terrible in those positions. Once Kevin is surrounded by playmakers who can create open shots for others like RJ, Alfred, and even Julius Randle, he and the team is so much more effective. Fizz should seriously contemplate starting Knox and having Morris come off the bench early, because Morris likes to play isolation and create his own mid-range shot, which would probably be better off on the bench unit as of right now. And if you look at the 2 Knicks lineups with the best plus minus, Kevin appears on both of them, surrounded by a ton of shot creators. Coincidence? I think not. Marcus Morris does not deserve to play 33 minutes per game, with Kevin Knox as his backup. Number 2, Mitchell Robinson. Mitch has had a very up and down season so far due to the inability to stay out of foul trouble. In Mitch's first 4 games, he has had 4 or more fouls in 3 of the contests. As a result, Mitch has only played 18 minutes per game, yet he has increased his points by 4 points per game, as well as slightly raising pretty much every other stat. Once again, Mitch has the 4th best PR in the entire NBA at 35.16. Honestly, I'm kind of sick about talking about his PER because this stat shows the potential that Mitch has, and when he's finally able to play significant minutes, he's going to excel. These are Mitchell Robinson's per 40 stats, and as you can see, he would average 24 points and 15 rebounds. Now, he's not going to be playing 40 minutes, but even if he plays around 30 minutes, he would at least average 17 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 blocks per game. The thing right now is, even in the games when Mitch is not in foul trouble, he's barely breaking 20 minutes per game. The worst part about this is when Bobby Portis is getting demolished by Nikola Vucevic in the post, it doesn't even cross Fizdale's mind to put in Mitchell Robinson, who is a serious candidate for the Defensive Player of the Year award. Minutes can easily be cut off from Bobby Portis, who's playing 26 minutes per game, or Taj Gibson, who's playing 10 minutes per game. Mitch deserves to play about 30 minutes per game this season during the games he is not in foul trouble, which is not happening this far, so Fizz needs to change that. Number 3, Frank Ntilikina. Frank Ntilikina has gotten some run in the past 2 games, and even though his stats may not be there, his impact on the game is significant. His defense is menacing, and when he is in the game, his length severely limits undersized point guards. It was evident with DJ Augustine, who seemed to not be able to do anything on Frank last night. The reason he was not in the game versus the Celtics when Kemba was going off makes absolutely no sense, because Kemba is a 6-foot undersized point guard. But for some reason, Fizz decides to treat Frank differently from everyone else when he makes a mistake. This season, Frank had a -7 plus-minus, with the majority of the negative coming in the few minutes he played versus the Spurs. As we all know, the Knicks point guard position is pretty bad. Right now, Frank deserves more minutes as the backup point guard. You know what you're getting with Frank on the defensive side of the ball, so as of right now, that alone should be enough to at least have him play about 20 minutes per game, especially with the injuries we have right now. Number 4, Alonzo Trier. I don't understand what's going on with Trier, and his minutes are being distributed very poorly. Trier should be the first man coming off the bench, since the Knicks need scoring very bad as of right now. Alonzo Trier has played in 3 of the Knicks' 5 games, and in those games he's averaged 8 points per game, but had 22 points in a game versus the Nets. In the game versus the Nets, Trier only played 23 minutes, only missed 1 shot, and was extremely effective on the offensive side of the ball. In the next game versus the Celtics, most of the Knicks players played pretty poorly, and so did Trier. But for some reason though, Fizz decides to bench Trier and play Dotson and Ellington significant minutes over him. This makes no sense why Fizz holds Trier accountable for his mistakes, but not Kevin Knox or Wayne Ellington, who also played bad against the Celtics. The worst part about this is the Knicks only scored 83 points versus the Magic, yet Fizz never even thought about putting the Knicks' best scorer into the game. Hopefully Fizz learns from this and understands that Trier needs to play in every game, especially in the games where the Knicks have trouble scoring. Number 5, Ignas Brazdeikis. Okay, I know it's a bit of a reach, but I put Ignas last because I'm kind of on the edge about this, because he may have played poorly in training camp, and that's the reason why he's on the bench. However, in the summer league, he played amazing, showed that he could be the type of rookie who could come in immediately and give quality minutes. The Knicks should be willing to put Ignas into the game soon, and personally, I would love to see a lineup where Kevin Knox or Marcus Morris are at the 4, and Ignas is in at the 3. It's hard to say if he deserves the minutes or not, but right now, giving him a chance does not seem like a bad idea. The Knicks may just be waiting for the G League to begin on November 9th and send him down there to develop, so I wouldn't get your hopes up too much. What do you guys think about Ignas? Do you think he deserves to get playing time in the NBA right now, or do you think the Knicks are just waiting for the G League to start so he can develop over there in Westchester? Also, tell me what your guys' thoughts on this video are, and if you have any questions, comment them down below, because I'm always ready to have a conversation down in the comment section. With that said, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like. Now I'm out, and peace!